All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Of course, click the notification button twice so that you don't miss any of the content on the channel. Also, if you want to make a donation, there's like a little $sign at the bottom. If you want to leave a super chat to continue to support the channel, that would be greatly appreciated as well. As we all know, yesterday we got the breaking news that Auburn has decided to part ways with Gus Malzahn. Ric Flair 06 says, "What's up, brother? It's a new day. Let's roll." Like I said before, if you want to donate to the channel, you can click the $sign at the bottom and donate to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. If not, hey, just keep listening to what we have to say over here. We got a lot of folks that are already here, 15 in the chat, and it's a new day. Let's roll. That's what Ric Flair says. No, Anthony Rudd says that. Hello, Vernon, War Eagle to you. Jeff J says, always good, bro. Many blessings. Hey, man, hope everything is going well your way, and it absolutely is. War Eagle. So we want to get into this real quick. Now, I left in the description, anybody who wants to join the show today can join. Left the link in the description, and I will see a notification that pops up that says, hey, you want to join? Hey, come on. Now, Gus Malzahn obviously is no longer the coach at Auburn. And, you know, some folks may think it's a knee-jerk reaction, but I think after the South Carolina game, the writing was on the wall that Auburn's program might be headed into a abysmal direction. I mean, that's, up for debate. But he's gone now. And what you have to deal with now is the aftermath. Is the squad, the assistant coaches there, are they retained? It's so many questions. You got recruiting coming up on Wednesday. So you got to think, was this a good move for Auburn long term? And I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this particular move. Let's rewind back to 2009. Gus Malzahn comes to Auburn as the offensive coordinator, had an okay season the first year in 2009. Then in 2010, Cam Newton comes on the scene and leads Auburn to a national championship, which led Gus Malzahn to prominence. Gus Malzahn leaves the program, goes to Arkansas State, leads them to a bowl game and I think a Sun Belt championship, returns to Auburn, takes Auburn to the national championship game, losing within less than a minute to Florida State, a game that obviously he should have won. And now we are where we are. We already have a guest in the queue that I'm going to bring on before I get too long-winded, which I can do sometimes. And we're going to see what the guest is talking about. Want to give a huge War Eagle to everyone that is tuned in midday Monday. It's a beautiful Monday morning here in the state of Georgia where I reside now, which is one of the reasons why I started this channel, because coming to Georgia, I didn't have nobody to talk about Auburn football with. So let's bring the guest on to see his or her synopsis on Auburn football. Yes, sir. We got TJ, who has joined the scene incognito. Man, y'all got to show your face. I want to see what you look like, but I do understand. TJ, what you got to say, man? Auburn has parted ways from Gus Malzahn, and where do you think the program is headed from here?
I'm really sad about it because I really like Gus. Like, I always wanted to play for him, but I don't know. I think we're gonna be heading down a little bit because we're gonna be a rebuilding with Bo Nix probably in his third year, right?
Yes, sir. Well, actually, he's coming into his third year, and obviously having some detractors as far as development goes. So that's going to be a question. And Crazy J Adventure says, "How do you join?" Crazy J, I have the description. I have the link in the description of this particular video. So if you click on that, you can join. I actually have another guest in the queue, but we want to hear what TJ has to say about these Auburn Tigers and where we head moving forward.
Yeah, so I feel like it always been a hate train on the Auburn Tigers fan on Gus Malzahn ever since he lost the bowl. Yeah, and it real, especially in Montgomery, it's very toxic.
Now, so you live in Montgomery.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's pretty cool because I'm actually from Tuskegee. I did a little the early part of my career. I actually worked in Montgomery at Enterprise Rent a Car, and Tuskegee, Auburn, and Montgomery. That's kind of a metropolis, so to speak. So I mean, everybody knows each other. So
Hmm.
big shout to you, man. I spent a lot of time in Montgomery.
Yeah, like I really feel like it's a big hate train towards Gus ever since the bowl loss. And
Now, which particular bowl loss? Because he's lost a couple. He lost the national championship game.
the national championship and the Peach Bowl, I
Oh
think.
man, the Peach Bowl at UCF. That I was actually pretty livid about that loss.
Yeah, like he's a good coach. I feel like Auburn fans think they Alabama because we don't get the good recruits Alabama get and Georgia get, and they think we supposed to be dominating every game like Alabama. Like I don't think that's Auburn, but it could be Auburn if we do get the recruits like Alabama gets.
Of course. Now, here's the thing when we talk about that. I think Auburn. Here's what led us to this point. I think Auburn going to the national championship in 2010 and winning, and then 3 years later going back to the national championship, that actually led to a wide range of expectation because you had a player. Matter of fact, the player that ran the kick six back. I can't think of his name right now, and I apologize to the Auburn fan base, but he was in a position to where he could have had 2 national championships under his belt in a 3-year span. So that led to the wide range of expectations. And then not to mention the fact that Auburn, you know, started to bring in some guys that from a recruiting standpoint that was seeming to get the program in the right direction. And now you have these expectations to where, hey, we've made it to the national championship 2 times in 3. Chris Davis, yes. Yeah, there goes Chris Davis. I'm ashamed that I didn't remember that right offhand. One of
Yeah,
the iconic players in Auburn history. My apologies to the Auburn fan base because a lot of this stuff I shoot off the hip. And like I said before, the expectations shot up during that time. Auburn goes to the national championship 2 times in a 3-year span, and now they're like, well, shit, we need to be doing this every year. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to the point where you get to the national championship. Then the following year, you're thinking in 2014 that Auburn should be right back there. Probably could have been there, had a couple of inexplicable losses, and now we're where we are now. So let me get your thoughts on that.
I feel like it's the okay. So we got Bo Nix the first year. I have a lot of faith in him the first year, especially in that first game against Oregon. In that first year, he won all those awards. This year now, I I I keep on thinking we should just our second quarterback. Like my dad said, Gus, he let talent slip away a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, he do, but I really don't see anybody that could replace Gus like anybody could place Gus Malzahn. To be
There's
honest,
a lot of pressure at Auburn for you to succeed. You talk about, like I said before, you reference the national championship appearances. You reference the SEC conference appearances, and the expectation is there. And I do feel that there could be possibly a coach out there that can get Auburn to the next pinnacle of expectation as far as winning high level football games. TJ, got another guest going on. I definitely appreciate your feedback and always love the bros from Montgomery. Definitely was a great place in my life at a certain period of time when I was down there. So I appreciate you joining the show. I hope you come back, man.
I will.
Yes, sir. War Eagle.
Or Eagle.
Yes, sir. So we got two guys that I'm going to let join at the same time because I don't want to have them waiting. Because what they do when they wait, they wind up dropping off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to add Jeff to the stream. I'm going to add Miller House to the stream so we can get this thing going. Let's talk about some Auburn football with Jeff and Miller. Miller, let's get this thing going. What are your thoughts? Do you think Auburn has made a mistake hiring Gus Malzahn? And do you think that whoever is the coach moving forward? I like Mario Cristobal. I really like what he's done at Oregon. What you got? Let's go with Jeff first. All right, so Jeff is quiet. Let's go with Miller first.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, first of all,
hey Miller, you got a little static on your end. I don't know what that's all about, but
can you hear me good? Do I still got
let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, no disrespect to Gus Malzahn up front. I feel like he did what he could and gave all that he could to Auburn, and unfortunately, it just wasn't enough.
Okay.
And I think me personally, being a diehard Auburn fan, growing up watching Cadillac, Ronnie Brown, all the great names.
Oh, so you're a young dude like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I actually grew up watching Reggie Slack and some of those guys back in the late '80s, and then moving on. I actually went to college with Cadillac Williams. So yeah, you're a young dude, man.
Okay, yes sir. And I think my heart broke when we went to that national championship against Florida State, man. That was kind of inexcusable. But me being a diehard Auburn fan that I am, I said, you know what, I'm gonna give this guy a chance. And through the years, I see how we played Clemson a few years in a row. He couldn't get it done against Dabo over at Clemson. And then, we played against LSU. We just now beat him, man. 2 years in a row, lost to LSU. And, he got those few wins in against Alabama, but it's just like, it's a tough situation at Auburn where you want to come in and win now. We want to be able to compete with the Georgias, with the Texas A&M, with the LSUs, and of course Alabama. And I just feel like his system was outdated. Like, he brought a system to Auburn that worked during a period of time. And the gentleman that you brought on the show yesterday, Edward, I can't pronounce his last name, but he made some good points where Gus should have invested in an offensive coordinator that kind of was trending, or his trend of offense was similar to those around the SEC. Because if you look, I'll give you a prime example. Look at Jimbo at Texas A&M. Jimbo was in his third season with a Kellen Mond quarterback, which he did not recruit. This guy was developed under Jimbo, and they're just now really starting to see their program transform. Yeah. Gus has been at Auburn for 8 years. There's not been one quarterback that Gus brought in besides Bo Nix that he took under his wing as Gus Malzahn's quarterback. Nick Marshall was a transfer. Cam Newton, he was offensive coordinator. Gus was the offensive coordinator there. Cam Newton was a transfer. Also a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback that we might not ever see again. Jarrett Stidham, transfer quarterback. And it's in the frustration of watching our offense struggle the way it has is I hate to say it was kind of sickening, man, because it's like we have all this talent. We have all these guys that bust their ass at practice day in and day out. And I don't see enough from Gus. I don't see him getting into the players. I don't see that passion. I don't see that fire that you see at Georgia or LSU, Coach O. And it's like one of those things where when you come to Auburn, we say War Eagle.
Yes,
that shit means something.
Of course.
When you take that field and you come out that tunnel, that means something to a lot of people. Just like Alabama fans die hard. We die hard Auburn too. And I think a lot of people around the country are saying that it was a kind of a bad move, but until you've actually been down here and experienced the culture of Auburn,
yes, sir,
you really can't. It's undescribable, man. It's really undescribable. But I think Gus did all that he could, and I think now it's time for the right man to come in and change that culture, because a lot of people as Auburn fans are comfortable with just beating Alabama.
Right. And see, that's the thing. If you want to build a program, if you want to get to the next level, your focus can't be on the last game of the year.
Right.
Alabama. Now, there have been some high consequence games where in 2013, where Auburn beat Alabama, wind up getting themselves in a position to win a national championship. You talk about 2017, where Auburn beat Alabama with the potential to be the first two-loss team in the college football playoff era history, going to the national championship, blew that with a loss to Georgia, and then blew it even more with UCF pushing the envelope to say, hey, you know what? We are a good team. We are a team that deserves to be in the conversation. And Auburn actually solidified their reasoning for being in the conversation and had a chance to win that late. That probably right there.
Yep.
In my opinion, that was the most deflating loss during the Gus Malzahn era, because we had no business losing to UCF, and that's going to be that was the stain, and that's what started the downtrodden of Gus Malzahn's career. Then you look at 2018, an easy 10-win season. Lose to Tennessee, you lose to Mississippi State. You got lucky and won against Texas A&M that salvaged the season. Yeah. Then you had this what we thought was going to be a apocalypse of a win against who was it? Purdue, beating them 63-0, and then we thought that was going to be the re-emergence of the Gus Malzahn offense. Then in 2020, well, 2019, you have the situation with Bo Nix, where here's what I think the mistake from Gus Malzahn was the fact that he didn't manage the quarterback room right. I think it should have been a situation where Malik Willis should have been the starter.
Yes.
And it should have been Malik Willis's job to lose. Then you manage the quarterback room in a political standpoint, in a politically correct way, and then you move on. Miller, I'm going to tell you this. I want you to join my show again. I love this call-in stuff because I like the Auburn fan base's opinion, and it gives you guys a platform to say what you want to say. I'm going to move on to the next guest, but I want to give you a huge War Eagle, and you're a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? You from Montgomery.
Hey, I'm from Wild, baby. I'm down the street from Tuskegee.
You know what I'm saying? We used to interact with the bros from Montgomery all the time. Want to give you a big War Eagle, and thank you for joining the show, man.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Oh, yes, sir. All right. So we have Jeff, who is relentless. He wants to join the show. And Jeff, we had you on yesterday, and we have a big question to pose to the Auburn fan base. Do you think that Auburn made a huge mistake in letting go of Gustavo Malzahn yesterday? Do you think this is going to set the program back? How do you feel about this? You got a little feedback, and I hope we can get through that.
Can you hear me well?
Uh-oh. Try to
Can you hear me?
Do it again.
Can you hear me now?
Try to go back out and come back in again, and let's try it again.
Okay. All right.
No, you're good now. You're good now. As a matter of fact, there's another guest that is joined. We're gonna tag team this thing. We have Crazy Jay. Oh man, I'm kind of scared to let him on. We got Crazy Jay that has joined. So we're gonna go with Jeff first because he's been arm wrestling to get on the show here today. Jeff, what do you think about this whole Gus Malzahn thing? Were you expecting to hear the news around 2:00 yesterday that your head coach is gone?
I wasn't expecting it, but I was hoping it would happen.
Okay.
Honestly, man, it's like a circle going around and around with the whole. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you. Okay. All right. So basically what I was saying is I wasn't expecting it. Actually shocked me. And I was actually outside playing with my daughter, and she ran and brought me my phone and said Gus has been fired. I said, no way.
Oh man.
And she showed it to me. I was like, oh wow. I said it's about time.
So now we're gonna be the case to where were you honestly, when you heard the news?
I feel like it's a fresh start. Fresh start.
Yeah.
I feel like Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, like I said, I was outside with my daughter, and she had my phone playing some game on it. And she brought my phone. She must have been fired. I said no. I said stop playing. And
Right.
she know I'm serious. So man, I went and had a cold beer when she told me that. I felt like I felt my life has changed. But nah, honestly, in all seriousness, though,
Oh
I
yeah,
do
because
it
I remember
because we need a fresh
yesterday when
start.
I heard the news that Gus
Just
Malzahn.
honestly, this year felt kind of awkward and weird when Gus had said a few things. Yeah, when Gus Malzahn had said some weird stuff, post game, and it
And that
just kind
little
of felt like
weird,
off here. So
little weird dance that he did with the football
honestly, I feel
team.
like it's time.
Oh yeah, it's definitely time. We want to bring now. I'm a
Let me
a
ask
little
you a quick
scared of
question.
Crazy J. We're gonna bring Crazy
So, who do
J
you
on, and go ahead and unmute
think
yourself,
would be
Crazy
a
J.
good
I want to
hire?
get your take on Gus Malzahn. He's been fired. Where does the program move forward? And where were you when all of this, when you got the news of Gus Malzahn being fired?
Hey, how good to be on here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's go.
I was actually at the lake, and I heard my cousin tell me that he got fired. But it wasn't crazy news. But they've been talking about it for a few years.
Now,
But
Crazy J and Jeff, if I may ask, where are you guys from? Do you all live in Alabama now, or are you all out
yes,
of state?
Alabama.
Okay. Now, one of the main reasons why I started this channel was I moved to Georgia back in what was it? 2008. And I just didn't have anybody to talk Auburn football about because I've graduated from Auburn.
Well, I'm from Alabama, but I live in Atlanta now.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in the Dothan area.
Oh, you down in Dothan, the Wiregrass. Okay, cool. So
Yep.
I was, started this channel because it was like, man, I don't have nobody to talk Auburn football
Yeah,
with.
like I said, I'm from Alabama myself, but I've been living in Atlanta.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I actually live in the Metro Atlanta area as well, and it's just hard to find folks that you talk Auburn football with, and this was just a great platform for us to do this. So, as I end this live stream, this podcast, I definitely appreciate all of the guys that are commenting in the comment section. Chris Tidwell, Wizard Dragon, Rob Moore, some regulars on my channel. I don't know yet if this is going to be a mistake on the part of Auburn with hiring Gus Malzahn, but considering everything involved, I'm going to leave you guys with this. The good news is Auburn has some very talented players on the football field right now. So whoever walks into the situation is going to inherit at least a reasonable squad that they can work with. And you look at the schedule next year. You got Penn State on the schedule. You got some other teams that could pose a threat to the Tigers, but you at worst you have an 8-4 season. So I think overall, would it be a mistake? But I think it's a change that needed to be made. I appreciate everybody that joined the show tonight. We have one in the queue. I mean today. Join the queue, but we're going to catch him the next time because our time is up here. We're going to continue to do these live call-ins. I do shows all year. I don't take off. I like to talk about recruiting as well. I like to talk about the basketball team, women and men's baseball. I'm not really big on baseball, but I can cover baseball as well. I appreciate you all joining the show. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football like nobody else in the country will. And we might not always be right, but we are always here. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.